Shadow at the Edge of Worlds. Part 1: The Threshold. Victoria stood on the edge, her feet barely touching the ground as she looked into the swirling abyss before her. The stars above pulsed in strange patterns, like they were alive, guiding her, pulling her toward something she couldn't quite understand. There was a hum in the air, the sound of something ancient, something older than the world she had known. "You've crossed the line," a voice whispered in her ear, though there was no one there. "You're no longer a visitor in this world. You are part of it now." She turned quickly, expecting to see someone, but there was only the ever-expanding darkness, shifting and flickering with light. The air itself seemed to breathe around her, and yet it was completely still. She didn't know how long she had been standing there, but something inside her was stirring, a feeling that this moment would define everything that came after. "What do you mean? What is this place?" Victoria asked, her voice trembling. The voice did not answer immediately. Instead, she felt a rush of sensations, as though the world itself was pushing against her. It wasn't painful, rather it felt like the world was inviting her in, waiting for her to accept the truth. "You must choose," the voice said finally, and Victoria could feel it echoing within her. "You've crossed over and now you must decide. Will you embrace what's to come? Or will you turn back and forget everything?" She stared into the abyss, uncertain. The weight of what she felt pulling her forward was undeniable, but fear gripped her heart. "I don't understand," she whispered. "What is waiting for me? You'll know when the time comes. But remember, there's no going back."
Victoria Gesetatid.
There was no path behind her, only the endless void. She took a deep breath, feeling the air fill her lungs. Her decision was made. "I'll go forward," she said, her voice steady now. And with that, the world shifted. Part 2: The Rift. Victoria's surroundings melted into a new reality, one where gravity seemed to lose its hold and everything was suspended in the vastness of the universe. The stars were closer now, almost within reach. They pulsed with a rhythm that made her feel like she was part of the cosmic dance. But there was something unsettling about the way they shifted. The world was not constant. It was changing, and she could feel the change deep inside her. "Where am I?" she whispered, her voice swallowed by the vastness around her. "Does it matter?" a new voice asked. It came from all around her, as if the very fabric of reality was speaking to her. "You are no longer in a place you know. You are somewhere between what was and what could be." Victoria couldn't make sense of the words. She looked down at her hands, expecting to see the familiar world she had known. The dusty streets, the crowded rooms, the noise of the city, but there was nothing. Only endless space, shifting colors, and the sensation of floating. "I don't understand," she said again, her voice breaking this time. "You don't need to," the voice replied. "Understanding will come in time. Right now you must learn to embrace the unknown. Because in this place nothing is impossible. You are not just a visitor. You are part of this new world." Victoria felt a shiver run down her spine. She could feel the power of the words, the weight of them. She was part of something larger now, something beyond her comprehension. But that didn't make her less afraid. In fact, it made her more uncertain. What did it mean to be part of something like this? "Where do I go from here?" she asked, barely able to form the question. "That depends on you," the voice said, fading into the background. "The choices you make will shape the world you enter, and the world you leave behind." Part 3: The Path Forward.
Всталой. 3 декабря 2024 года, 20 часов 26 минут.
Victoria continued walking, though it wasn't a path she could see. Every step she took created new ripples in the fabric of this reality. It was as though the world itself responded to her movements, folding and reshaping with each decision she made. She felt the tension between what she had known and what was now unfolding around her. Was she supposed to be afraid? Should she have turned back? But something deep inside her knew there was no turning back. This new world, with its impossible landscapes and swirling colors, was her world now. She was part of it, and the choices she made here would define who she would become. The voice came again, softer this time. "Remember," it said, "the future is yours to create. You are no longer just a traveler. You are a creator. What happens next is up to you."
Victoria Post.
She had heard the words before, but now they carried weight. She wasn't just witnessing this reality. She was shaping it, and that terrified her. But she couldn't deny the power she felt pulsing through her. The power to shape and change the very fabric of this world. She stepped forward. Part 4: The Choice. Victoria stood before a vast expanse of light, a portal to something unknown. The air around her shimmered, thick with possibilities. As she stepped closer, she saw a figure emerge from the light. It was a man, though his features were hazy and indistinct. He seemed to be both a part of the light and separate from it. "You've made it this far," he said, his voice calm but filled with meaning. "But now you must face your choice." "What do you mean?" Victoria asked. "What choice is left? I've already decided to move forward." "Yes, but you must decide what kind of future you will create," the man replied. "This world, this reality, they are yours to shape. But you can't do it alone. You must share what you've learned with others, or else this world will crumble under the weight of its own creation." Victoria blinked, trying to process his words. She was beginning to understand. Her power wasn't just about changing her own path. It was about creating something bigger, something that could sustain the world around her. "What do I do?" she asked, feeling the gravity of his words. "You must share your knowledge," he said. "You must help others understand what you've learned. Only then will the world survive." Part 5: The Return. Victoria felt the truth settle inside her. She wasn't just here to experience this world. She was here to change it. And to change it, she needed to help others understand. With newfound clarity, she stepped forward, knowing that her journey wasn't over. It was just beginning. As she passed through the light, the world around her shifted again. The stars danced, and the fabric of reality began to warp and change. But this time it wasn't frightening. This time she felt in control. She was no longer just a traveler. She was a creator. And her journey was only just beginning. Finale: The beginning. Victoria's path was clear now. She understood that her choice had not only shaped her own destiny, but had also impacted countless other worlds. She had become the architect of a new reality, one that was not bound by the limitations of her old world. She was no longer a mere observer. She was a participant in the grand design. Her journey had led her to this point, and now she could help others find their way. As she moved forward, she knew that the future was hers to create. And with each step, she would shape the world anew. This was just the beginning. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. If you've enjoyed the adventure, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us bring even more exciting stories your way. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So drop a comment below and let us know what you think about the journey we've taken together. And remember, every story has its beginning and end, but the next one is just around the corner. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next chapter. Until then, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep creating your own path. See you in the next one.